Welcome to Cache Rendezvous. I'm Tori Green.
And I'm Taylor Murray. As you can see behind me, we are hosting today's Cache Rendezvous in the Huntsman Hall for the grand opening. Earlier today, donors who paid for most of the building, along with leaders of the community, listened to President Stan Albrecht while he thanked them for their support and said Huntsman Hall will bring unparalleled opportunities for USU students. Throughout the rest of the cast, we will bring you updates of events happening during the grand opening.
It's March, which, as you may have heard, is a huge month for basketball.
That's right, the NCAA tournament is about to kick off and people around the nation are filling out brackets. We have Jeffrey Dada here with us today to tell us how some USU students decide on those selections. What'd you find out, Jeff?
Well, some people like to go a little bit more analytical with it. A lot of others simply go with their gut.
Some men just want to see the world burn, and I'm one of those.
This is James. He has some odd ways of choosing winners in March. But then again, he's pretty new to this.
That's where Pitbull lives.
I filled out my first bracket last year, and I basically just copied my friend Peter.
James admits this year, most of the time, he was just guessing.
Gut feeling, if I like the sound, you got to stare at it for a little bit, and then you'll just pick one. It'll happen.
There are people like James who guess.
Iowa State.
Then there are people like Kaylin who think they have more answers.
I think I'm way more informed than your average fan because I've seen a lot more basketball this year than most people.
However, in some ways, their methods are not that different.
I always know that there's going to be a few upsets, so I just kind of go with my gut feeling of who I think's going to win.
With so many opportunities to fill out brackets, why just fill out one? Why not 2 or 3 or 15?
I usually try and keep it the same just to avoid too much personal frustration. It's really annoying if, say, I have 2 brackets that are both doing well, but then I have one team winning in one pool but in a different pool, then it's a personal conflict of who to cheer for.
Xavier. Just the professor thing.
Even if you were more like James, who struggles filling it out because
There's a lot of things I've never heard of before, like Austin Pay, P, wherever that is.
that doesn't mean you won't win.
I don't think I have a better chance of winning than anyone else does because when it comes down to it, it doesn't really matter how much you know. It's just kind of luck of the draw.
Regardless of how you decide to fill out your brackets, the majority of us will have our brackets busted by the end of the weekend.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. I know I was struggling to fill out mine, but, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. The presidential race is heating up around the country, and the Republican Party in Idaho decided to heat things up for their voters. Voters turned in their ballots last Tuesday for the Republican primary. Republicans usually hold a caucus to choose a presidential candidate and have the primary in May, but this year the legislature moved it up and eliminated the Republican caucus. While Franklin County voting officials say the turnout was a little smaller than usual, the voters we talked to liked the change.
It's kind of fun to be a little bit earlier where you could actually have an impact on how things are going.
Ted Cruz won the primary with 45% of the vote.
If you've been stressed out about life or school's harsh lighting, you might have found some coping, in the Solace and Soul place last weekend. Brock Damjanovic is here to show you some insight about the yoga extravaganza.
Absolutely. Soul Pose was an awesome event, and it gave yogis, hundreds of yogis, the chance to say namaste to a whole new yoga experience.
A whole new event at Salt Lake City from the creators of the Color Run.
Soul Pose is the happiest yoga on the planet. So we created Soul Pose Yoga to create a space for everybody to be able to do yoga.
There's nothing out there that's like Soul Pose. This is definitely a unique experience.
Soul Pose came to the Salt Palace as part of its nationwide tour.
We have some local studios that were here assisting, and then they're here as vendors as well, so they have booths set up so that people can go to them and find a space to do yoga.
After people checked in here at Soul Pose, they were given their own free towel. They were able to grab a yoga mat, and of course, we got painted up in some paint that would glow under the black light.
We just wanted to add lighthearted elements to the event with the confetti, the body paint, the glowing bubbles, everything's just to make it a little bit more lighthearted and less serious.
To spice things up even more, each yogi received a soul band bracelet that changed color with the music and confetti to throw.
It exchanges studio intimidation for bubbles and black light and confetti and just takes away that fear factor that people might have when they see on social media someone balancing on their finger and they think, well, I'm not going to do yoga because I can't do that. When really it's the opposite.
Happy with the sold-out success they had in Salt Lake City, the event will continue traveling.
We'll be getting tour dates for the rest of the year coming in like the next month or so. And right now it's all over the country and we're excited to see where it goes.
Brock, that is so cool that you got to do that.
Absolutely, yeah, it was a really fun experience. If you're looking for any more details, visit soulpose.com if you're looking for tour dates or other locations, and hopefully they come back next year because, again, it was an awesome experience and I'd love to do it again.
Awesome, thanks Brock. When we come back, see how some fans are taking costumes to the next level.
2D printers are all around campus. We'll show you where you can find a 3D printer.
At the Utah State Journalism Department, we can't offer you a cool press hat. We can't offer you a spot on a blooper reel. We can't offer you easy A's. We can't offer you time off. We can't offer you ridiculously dramatic music playing in the background, or even my British voice. What we can offer you is an education that leads to a job that makes a real difference.
Students in biological engineering at Utah State University have the unique chance through the Synthetic Biomanufacturing Institute to engineer uses for spider silk. Projects developed in the lab include medical coatings, strong adhesives, and elastic woven fibers. These Aggies from Utah State are influencing and changing the face of biological engineering. Join them and leave your mark as well.
The new Huntsman Hall has been in the making for 6 years. Private donors paid for most of the building, which cost $50 million. Those donors are thanked and honored by Douglas D. Anderson, the Dean of the Business Schools, and President Stan Albert. Governor Gary Herbert and John Huntsman Sr. also spoke at the dedication.
The Salt Lake Comic-Con Fan X is next Thursday, and we have Emily Duke here with us to tell us some more.
Yeah, Emily, you're dressed a little bit differently. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so this is actually one of the first cosplays I ever did for a con. It's Carol Marcus from the original Star Trek, well, the 2009 movie reboot. I actually went out this week and I talked to a lot of talented cosplayers to find out kind of what it takes and why they do it.
Salt Lake Comic-Con events include celebrities and panels, but one of the most creative parts is the cosplay.
There are so many things about cosplay to be excited about. Like the construction is amazing and how well people are that character. And just to see something that I never thought that I would see in real life is so cool.
Eric Hall has over 100 costumes. His favorite costume is his Borg from Star Trek.
It's really ornate. I have a voice changer built into it, so I sound like a Borg when I talk. I've got a plasma disc above one of the eyes. I've got a laser built into it.
You can't buy a lot of these things in stores, so cosplayers have to get creative and either build or sew a lot of their pieces.
Mariel Clark uses her craft room to make custom cosplay. Her favorite costume is her evil queen from Snow White.
She's evil, but she's Disney, so she's still fun, like even though she tried to cut out her stepdaughter's heart.
Actually a bad sheet.
Friends and co-workers Brady, Zach, and Nate did their cosplay of the concubines from Mulan together, and they were an instant hit. They say the reactions of people at the con made it worth it.
For me, like, that's with any cosplay, that's what it's about. It's just like talking to people, like having people who like the fandom or the kids who have played the video game, watched the cartoon or whatever, and like seeing their faces, it's just, it makes it worth it. It really does.
For Hall, it's all about passing on his passion to a new generation.
Being able to see grown-ups dressed like them who have the same love for the characters as they do, it's inspiring.
You can still purchase tickets online or at the door. You know, it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so we have a lot of talented cosplayers are going to be there. Should be pretty cool.
Hey, thanks, Emily. Of course you know you could print on a regular paper printer, but did you know that you could print in 3D at USU? There's a lot of creativity when it comes to 3D printing. Some students have made fishing reels, mini statues, and flash drive cases. Programs like SolidWorks, Solid Edge, or AutoCAD are what you would want to use when making your decision. 3D consultants can help you create your file and get it ready for print.
Any student can print off the 3D printer. You just need a STL file, then we will be able to estimate the price really quickly.
For more information, call the Engineering Education Lab at 435-797-7898.
You may know some fun and outgoing people at Utah State, and we have Tess Griffith here with us today to show us someone who fits in that category.
Thanks, Taylor. You may think of the talented people on campus as writers, entrepreneurs, or artists, but I had the privilege of meeting an Aggie whose talent is a little something different.
Morgan Burns is a student at USU, but she isn't just your average college student. Burns works here at Joyride Bike Shop, where she is surrounded by one of the things she loves most, mountain biking.
I'm like a downhill junkie, so I love just going super fast downhill. It's also just a great way to meet a ton of people and like good exercise too, which is good.
And though hobbies like these may start at a young age, Burns has only been biking for a few years. She even got the chance to be a camp counselor for a mountain bike clinic and teach kids the ins and outs of mountain biking.
Although many of us may think bike riding is easy, the type of bike riding Burns does isn't just a walk in the park.
And one of the reasons Burns got into mountain biking is not a very common one.
My mom, she's a great lady. She told me, she's like, a lot of cute guys mountain bike. You should get into it. And I was like, yeah, whatever.
Here at Joyride Bike Shop, Burns works by helping customers find the bike just right for them, and she also does mechanical work on the bikes. Burns is also an ambassador for the university, where her adventurous personality is well known to her fellow ambassadors.
I really do believe adventure is kind of her middle name, and so it's always fun. There's always something fun that's going on when she's around.
She is a treat, definitely. It was really cool getting to meet her and her interests. She's actually learning how to juggle right now, and she knows how to ride a unicycle, so she's pretty cool.
Wow, that's amazing. Thanks, Tess. When we come back, we'll show you how your fast food fix could be affecting the air.
And our Natalie Humphreys will have your Cache Valley weather report.
Are you frustrated with your major?
I'm done.
Do you wish your professors were more available to you? Do you wish your dreams of appearing on television would come true? We have the solution for you. Broadcast journalism offers hands-on experience, one-on-one assistance, and the opportunity to work with ATV News. Join the JCOM family today.
Aggie Air is an innovative engineering program exclusive to Utah State. It provides opportunities for students to get hands-on and real-world experiences. By building model planes that photograph and scan detailed images of landscapes, Aggie Air can change the way we use the Earth's surface. Watch as Aggie Air takes flight.
If you have ever needed food in the area, you probably, went through a drive-through, but you're not alone.
And with all those idling cars, what does it mean for the environment? We have Amy Reed here with us today to tell us more.
That's right. As part of our series on air quality, I checked out if it's worth it to our air for all the time we save driving through.
Welcome to McDonald's. Go ahead and order whenever you're ready.
Drive-thrus seem to have become a staple in America, especially in our food.
People love them, and it's easy to see why.
It's faster, and usually I've got places to go.
It's faster.
Love drive-through. It keeps our staff busy, and it's a lot easier to service in the drive-through.
Not only are they fast, but they boast the luxury of never having to leave your car. But never leaving your car usually means leaving your car running and sending these emissions into our air. Dr. Randy Martin studies the air quality in Logan and ties our infamous bad air back to cars.
We and our automobiles are the biggest contributor to the emissions of oxides of nitrogen and hydrocarbons of all other sources here in the valley.
That's why, according to Martin, we need to cut down on unnecessary idling, which means being smart about the drive-thru. Martin said as long as the drive-thru is moving, you should be fine. It's when it slows down that it becomes a problem.
In a drive-thru, it's not a simple idle. It's an idle, and then you move 10 feet, and then you move 10 feet again. And so you would have a series of hot starts compared to a continuous idle.
And the continuous idle also works well for restaurants that are trying to cut down on service time.
Our service goal, we always try and keep the wheels moving, and we target from a customer's order point to the delivery of their food is under 90 seconds.
But on the days where drive-thru can't meet that goal,
if it's not terribly inconvenient for you, just shut your car off and go in.
So it looks like, at least for now, we don't have to stop going. But with the inversion that we get every winter, Dr. Martin says it's up to all of us to start doing our part.
Well, that's good. That means I have a little time to work on my habit, from McDonald's, because I love to eat,
Thanks, Amy. If you recycle, you may be putting the wrong things in that blue can. According to the Logan City Environmental Department, a lot of things that should end up at the landfill actually end up in recycling. Those things include styrofoam, clothing, bags, green waste, and pet food bags. The department says that if those things weren't dumped in the recycling containers, recycling contamination in Cache County would be cut in half.
I wish people would just pay attention to what they're supposed to put in the can. I think, it's kind of a dual-edged sword because it is commingled and you can throw so much stuff into it and they know that people are sorting it. They feel like, oh, well, if it's not recyclable, it'll just get sorted out anyway. But really, it takes them a lot longer and a lot of manpower.
And if you have any questions about what is recyclable, you can contact the environmental department. And if you have any questions about your weather, we can send you on over to Natalie Humphreys in the ATV studios to give you that update. Natalie?
Thanks, Taylor. So really what's going on in the weather is up here in the northern Midwest. There were some tornado warnings at the beginning of the week, but those have been lifted, and now there's just cold front moving up into Canada, and the northern Midwest will see a lot of rainfall and a lot of snow. And then in the southern states, there will be some rain and a little bit colder down there, as well as kind of over in the west. We'll see a little bit of rain, and if we can take a look at Utah, we'll see that we're going to have a little bit more snow and rain, and it will just keep pushing up into the north. And if we can look at the 7-day forecast, I'll get you caught up on that. And on Wednesday today, We'll see a little bit more snow and rain with a high of 28 and a low of 17. On Thursday, kind of similar story with 20% chance of rain and snow with a high of 33 and a low of 19. And on Friday, it gets a little bit warmer with 37 and a low of 25, and it will be partly cloudy, so we'll see some of that sunshine that we'll see in the weekend on Saturday. And it will get to 48 on Saturday with a low of 30. And on Sunday, it will get even warmer with a high of 55, and a low of 39. And we'll have a really nice weekend with the sun, and then on Monday it will go back to kind of that snowy rainfall with 30% chance of that. But it will still kind of stay warm like Sunday with a 54 high and a low of 27. Then on Tuesday it will drop down to 27 with a low of 18. But now you're all caught up in weather. Let's see what's happening in sports. Sarah?
That's right, Natalie. When we come back, I'll have the Mountain West tournament update.
At the Utah State Journalism Department, we can't offer you a cool press hat. We can't offer you a spot on a blooper reel. We can't offer you easy A's. We can't offer you time off. We can't offer you ridiculously dramatic music playing in the background, or even my British voice. What we can offer you is an education that leads to a job that makes a real difference.
Need an adventure? The Outdoor Recreation Program at USU offers a wide variety of rental equipment, from winter gear like skis, snowshoes, and snowboards, to summer must-haves like kayaks, rafts, and camping gear. From sleeping bags to Dutch oven necessities, we have it all. So stop in and see us. Located at 950 East, 1000 North, in the basement of the distribution building behind Romney Stadium, we're open Mondays through Fridays, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So stop in or call to get your gear today.
During their first game at the Mountain West Championship, the Utah State women's basketball team defeated the Nevada Wolfpack 59-35 and advanced to the quarterfinals. But during their next game against Fresno State, the Aggies lost 55-47, which ended their run in the Mountain West tournament. The Utah State basketball team also played in the Mountain West tournament over spring break. And with a win of 88-70 against Wyoming, it was a game the Aggies were happy with.
Really proud of my guys and pleased with the performance. Thought they came out from the get-go.
And with three-pointers like that and like this from Jalen Moore, the Aggies really were off to a great start. But bucket after bucket after bucket, and yeah, you guessed it, yet another bucket by Jalen Moore kept the game going strong. But it wasn't just Jalen who held the game together. Shane Rector, whose previous scoring high was 16 against Nevada, had a season-high game with 24 points, proving that Jalen Moore wasn't the only one who could get the buckets. Julian Perry also held steady with shots like that, and when he cruised past Wyoming's defenses to get another layup. And another 2 points for the Aggies. He also hit some three-pointers and got help like this one with a pass from Chris Smith. Then Chris Smith came in with his own shot that was just another drop in the Aggies' three-pointer bucket, which left the team energized and with high hopes for the next game.
Coming off a big win like that, our guys should know that we can compete with these teams. You know, we can compete with any team in this. And so I hope everyone comes out with energy and gives it an effort. And if we rebound and break their press, don't give them the ball, I think that'll give us our best chance of, you know, hopefully coming away with the W tomorrow.
The Aggies started their next game against San Diego State off strong with teamwork by blocking this shot by the Aztecs. Shane Rector then ran that ball down the court and kept possession with enough time to pass to Quinn Taylor, who then took the layup. But the Aztecs took a note from the Aggies' three-pointers and snagged one for themselves. Even though some fouls played to the Aggies' advantage, they weren't so lucky later on. Near the end of the game, the refs reviewed this controversial play by the Aztecs to see if it was a flagrant or intentional foul. They decided that it wasn't a foul at all, which gave San Diego State the ball and helped them get the win. The Aggies lost the game to the Aztecs and ended their run in the Mountain West Championship with a final score of 71-65. The men's basketball team's overall record for the season was 16-15. The Utah State men's tennis team took a spring break road trip to New Mexico last week. They dropped a close match in the finals of the Mountain Pacific Invite on Saturday to the New Mexico Lobos. But the trip ended with an impressive 4-1 mark, and the team is now ranked 58 in the nation, which is the highest the tennis team has ever been ranked. The tennis team will swing back into action this Saturday against Boise State here at home. You're all caught up on sports. Back to you, Taylor and Tori.
Thanks, Sarah. When we come back, spring is coming and you may be getting the sniffles. We'll show you what could be causing it.
Sorry,
I've got big ideas.
As a college student, you have big ideas to make a big difference on campus. Why not get funding for those ideas in a big way? The Blue Goes Green Grant provides funding for student sustainability projects. These projects help USU students be more environmentally responsible, live healthier, and save money. To find out more, go to usu.edu/BGG. Get funding for your Blue Goes Green idea in a big way. Blue Goes Green. Make a difference.
I love the major so much. It's my 4th year in the major. The faculty in the PR department help students get more engaged in PR and get more hands-on experience in the field of PR. When I graduate here, I'll have more experience than other students have because of the classes that we take here on campus. Public relations is far the best because there's so much variety in the field. You go into marketing, corporate communications, you can become a writer because of all the things you learn within the classes of public relations.
Aggie Air is an innovative engineering program exclusive to Utah State. It provides opportunities for students to get hands-on and real-world experiences. By building model planes that photograph and scan detailed images of landscapes, Aggie Air can change the way we use the Earth's surface. Watch as Aggie Air takes flight.
Welcome back. Spring is a time for warmer weather and sunnier skies, but it also brings an unwanted guest. We have Connor Camo with us to give us some more insight.
Thanks, Taylor. Unlike the sun and the warmth, pollen can be a big problem in Utah during the spring. And for those people that have allergies, it can be more than just a nuisance. Sneezing, a stuffed nose, and itchy skin are just some of the symptoms a person can get if they have an allergic reaction.
Sneezing is the worst part of it, probably. Sneezing and runny nose, and sometimes even a headache.
The allergies that happen in the spring occur due to high amounts of pollen in the air. The pollen comes from things such as grass, trees, and flowers. When weather conditions are right, such as having high winds, this can make symptoms much worse.
There's a walk down by the library that sometimes it flares up my allergies.
Most people use medication for their allergy symptoms, such as ibuprofen and acetaminophen, but some use a more sweeter solution to their symptoms.
If I feel sneezy or like my allergies are acting up, I'll just have a spoonful of that local honey. And maybe it's just a placebo, but it works for me.
Even though allergy symptoms can be enhanced in the spring, that doesn't stop people from going outside.
I usually take a Claritin just in case. When I was younger, it used to inhibit me a little bit.
Even with the colder temperatures outside, it's important everyone's ready for the allergy season. Thanks, Connor.
You may have heard about Zika, the mosquito-borne virus spreading across the entire country. One local Aggie had it and said it wasn't that bad. Brandon Squires is alive and healthy today after serving a 2-year mission for the LDS Church in Tahiti. He got the Zika virus there. He said because of his health, the virus did not affect him as much as it did other people he has seen on the news.
It really wasn't that bad. Everyone in French Polynesia ended up getting it. I had a companion that got it pretty bad, and he had red spots all over him, and because it covers your skin with these red spots, like chickenpox almost. But it's not quite chickenpox because it's the virus. But once it was over, it just was over, and you continued on your daily way.
There is no vaccine for the virus, but you can still avoid getting Zika by using mosquito repellent.
And just moments ago, the official ribbon cutting ceremony occurred and the Huntsman Hall is open. One ribbon cutting is held inside for donors, while another was held outside for students and anyone else interested in the new addition to the university. John Huntsman Sr. and the student president, Trevor Olson, were members who helped cut that ribbon.
Thanks for joining us on this edition of Cache Rendezvous.
Be sure to check in next week for more ATV news. We'll leave you with some shots of the grand opening of Huntsman Hall. Have a great day, Aggies.